The social demography in this case, there are more young people on Facebook in Turkey than on typically this penetrated markets. Also more male users. So this is quite a difference, but I believe the growth, since the growth of the older users is now picking up, that this will change soon. Basically, this is sort of a little overview that we give on Facebook marketing and what you can do. You probably know all of those things, but we focus on making and building applications and measuring them, and measuring Facebook pages as themselves, comparing them, putting them into context, telling you how you're doing in context of your competitors. So that's what gets me to actual measuring and the correct measuring of social media. So basically, what's important in terms of measuring social media campaigns? The important is defining the expected results, defining the KPIs that you want to give, and obviously also comparing with your competitors, comparing with the market, if what you've done was bigger or smaller than what your competitors have done. On Facebook, it's pretty nice. On the web, they can say, yeah, 1 million users came there, yeah, 500,000 users came there. On Facebook, well, you know, everything is visible. All the statistics are visible out there. So, you know, you make sure you're doing well, and you can compare yourself pretty well. Facebakers as itself, and I hope you can see this from the back. This is probably the smallest font that I will get. Is we introduced basically 4 new key performance indicators to the market. Social key performance indicators that you can't find anywhere else. One is obviously the reach. The fan page reach is really simple. That's the number of fans divided by the total number of users. And that's an important in that country. And that's an important KPI. How many people are you reaching in your country, in your target audience? Then is the fan growth index. That's basically the index of your page, of the growth for the last period, last month, last 3 months. And we can compare this to the growth index of a category of FMCGs in Turkey, of mobile operators growing in Turkey. So this is something neat and something comparable. Also, the more of a quality index is our Facebook fan page score. This is something that we build. This is our sort of scoring for Facebook pages. We take in consideration about 100 different criteria, how you're posting, when you're posting, how users are interacting with those posts, and putting it into a context of a score, of a percentage. And the last is the engagement rate. That's the most simple one. That's simply the number of likes and comments divided by the number of fans on the given time of the post. So these are the social indicators that we put, the social KPIs that we put into context, and that we recommend companies to use to measure their Facebook campaigns, because Facebook is open, and it's a place where if you do campaigns, you can measure and compare yourself. That's a big advantage, I think. Our Facebook is our algorithm, and I'm showing this for the first time. I hope we don't have many international people on the live streaming, but this is basically how our central system works. So basically, we're working with brands. For example, we're monitoring Puma in different countries, and then we detect a new Puma in, that we don't know where it is. We detect the language, we detect the country, and we store it in our database. There's bunch of automatic work, and also obviously there's a bunch of manual work involved with these brands. So if we don't have a full list of brands in Turkey, you obviously write us. We can't detect all of them. We get about 5 emails from Turkey every day saying, add this, add that, and we're trying to service all of them as soon as possible. So global versus local. This is a big topic, and I think a lot of companies are taking their approaches globally. Starbucks first did only a global page, but then they realized, what's a global page for? What can a global Starbucks page tell you? Well, we have good coffee, we have great coffee, come for our coffee. And that's pretty much all that a global Starbucks page can tell you. But a local page can create local events in cities, and things that are much more stronger to the community. People write on their wall in that language, and this is important, and Starbucks has had a great success building those little local communities. So the reach of the pages is twice as high in local terms. The engagement, so how people interact with the content, is 2 to 5 times as high if you're building a local community. So if you're working with a global company that is doing a local Facebook presence, and they're denying to do a local Turkish page, tell them that's they should stop doing that. They should start thinking in terms of their fans, in terms of their customers, and you need to be close to those. Here's some of the statistics from our Market Insights tool. This is basically the overview, the leaderboard that you get in our insights, and this is just a comparison of 2 pages. So you can compare 2 pages. I've compared 2 unrelated pages, Ava and I don't know if I'm spelling Ilker. Would that be all right? Ilker? Yeah, I hope I didn't mispronounce that. Anyway, we have a central leaderboard with the KPIs, with the score, with the information, and there's more. There's much more. So you go into depth. You can watch the different engagements. So you can see that Avea has posted a little less than Ilker, but the fan pickup was faster. And you can compare this. You can compare this with multiple pages, and you can see this. You can see the numbers in context, and this is obviously a good thing to watch. Now, I didn't have to be the admin of the Avea page or the Ilker page for compiling these statistics, because we're compiling from openly available information. Technically, you can do this alone in Excel. Obviously, it would take you a whole day to compile this, and this is real time, so you get this updated every hour. It would take you a day for 1 page. So we help do this sort of faster. We also monitor a different post types. So if you're posting on page, if you're the content manager that works with a page, this is very good statistics to have access to this shared around the company with the people that actually use this and that post on this Facebook page. So you can see here that the status updates that it sends are different types. You can send photos, videos, albums, all of that. So the Ilker page is sending more types of content, which is definitely a recommended type, because then it works better. It simply works better. And we do have proof for that, because the engagement rate of those different types is much higher than, and generally Ilker has a higher engagement rate than Avea, much higher. Doesn't mean Avea has a low one. I'm comparing 2 different categories. So it's really hard finding posts on the other mobile operators. Some unique Turkish data that I'm sure you all been waiting for is this is sort of an average. This is an average top 20 of brands in that country, taken into context of the number of users in that country, which means how much do average users, which in this case 100,000 is the average number of fans on the top 20 brands, 100,000 fans on average, and that reaches 0.5% of the market. Now, the highest, I'd like to just point out, we're coming from Prague, and we did a lot of campaigns in Czech Republic, and the highest engagement of brands in the world is where we come from, and we hope we contributed with that a lot. Some of the numbers from the fan pages, we took the top 10 of brands and just put them into context of growth and monitoring. So you can see the Nike football page is growing a lot. Football is obviously very, very favorite around here. The Gitti Gidiyor, and I'm really sorry about the pronunciations moving along. Mavi Jeans, Avea, all of those are growing extremely fast. They're extremely growing pages because they have a lot of place to grow. So I'm definitely going to see, I think, after, if we meet here in a year, I think we'll be able to see 3 to 5 times the growth on the number of fans on each of these pages. I'm pretty sure of it. Now, in terms of quality of posting, it's different. So obviously, the growth rate is something, and the quality of the page is another thing. So you see smaller brands from the top that take the quality index, that work with their fans, that post properly. So in this case, the Favori jewelry is the one that's the best in here. And also in terms of fan engagement. So this is pure fan engagement, average fan engagement per post, taken into consideration. So you see Renault in this case being the number one in Turkey as a number 1 community page. This graph right here is the average number of basically interactions during a certain hour, the percentage. Now, what's weird about this, if you compare this with Europe, With Western Europe or Central Europe, with Germany, for example, the engagement is in completely different hours. The engagement typically happens at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. I don't know if Germans are lazy and they don't work and they go on Facebook, but you know, the highest traffic for interacting with a Facebook page, a branded Facebook page, is at 8 o'clock. So, you know, if a Facebook page posts then, it works really good for her. Types of content. So this is about 10,000 posts that we were taking here and millions of interactions that we were using to compile this data. And basically, you can see that videos and photos obviously work as the highest point of engagement. People engage, people comment on videos and photos. This is something that's probably everywhere on the market, pretty much the same. People do interact with standard text status updates quite a lot, which is you know, they don't see anything else. They don't see pictures. They just see text. So sometimes that's okay, and obviously the links in this case work almost the least. Depends on the applications is complicated because some of the pages post through like central applications. So application is like a lot of things, but the engagement is very different, I would say. So I think the most interesting part that I have is the case studies and are the numbers for the different case studies. We basically have case studies primarily for Facebook applications, but obviously, you know, you do your Facebook pages, and Facebook applications are something that helps build the communities on those Facebook pages and helps drive the users there. Now, with a Facebook page, you know, you can communicate news to your clients. You probably know all of this, but also you can do very easy research. So we had companies that came to us and said, you know, we don't want research anymore. We don't need to do internal research anymore because we have our Facebook page. They had 30,000 fans up there, and whenever they posted a poll, 500 people replied. They usually pay a couple thousand euros for doing that. So in terms of Facebook applications, it's anything with engagement, playing, interacting, competitions, different tabs on Facebook pages, or standalone applications. So I'll skip this one. We did a lot of sport applications for different companies, including betting companies, actual clubs, and we had, I think now, about 1 million users in that pool of those sports applications. People love sports, people love football, people love hockey, they like betting, they like, I mean, obviously not real betting, but play betting, which is okay on Facebook. And you know, they come in, they play, they compare with their friends, and that's what they like to do. And then the company can convert it to their normal web page, to the actual bettors in this case. We did this campaign for Kia back, I think, 1.5 years ago, when Czech had 1 million users on Facebook. And the concept was simple: draw in a car and win a weekend in it. So fairly simple, but users were really creative. They really took the edge of creating a lot of cars. They put their favorite soccer club there. They've put their favorite drink there. Heck, you know, they put, at that time, it was around Michael Jackson dying, so this was something that was big for the people. This almost won, actually, the Michael Jackson one. But generally, this activity generated 70,000 users for the client, over 45,000 designs. Now, if you wanted to browse through these designs, you couldn't, simply. The competition was not fair, couldn't be fair, because there was no way for a user to actually go through 45,000 images. So we don't know if the images that won were the nicest. They were nice, but we don't know if they were the most creative or the nicest of them all. HP did this application in I think now 6 or 7 countries in Europe, where the concept was simple, and simple works on Facebook. So collect butterflies, send them to your friends, and basically win if you'll be the best collector. Now, this didn't work only for your own friends, but it worked for their friends' friends. It was like a airplane activity. So basically, you invited your friend, and if he was active and inviting his friends, then you got a little less points for him, and it was, I think, down to the 3rd or 4th level where you got the points. So the person that winning wasn't the person with the most friends. It was the person that engaged his friends to do it the most, to send these these butterfly. This was, I think, till now, one of the most successful individual application campaigns. It generated 500,000 users, over 500,000 users just in Czech Republic. In the other countries, I think it was 200,000 in Slovakia, 100,000 in Serbia. But most of all, it converted 20% of these people, so over 100,000 users, into fans of the fan page. So this was something pretty successful for the brand. This was a project for Kraft. It was called Sweet Kisses for 1st of May. We have this holiday on the 1st of May. It's like the Valentine's Day, and basically people were supposed to send out kisses. Really simple concept. As you see here, this was the growth was especially right before and right during that. Actually, Facebook blocked the application for a short period of time, because simply they did not understand why it sends so many updates, so many kisses to Facebook to user profiles. Now we explained them that that's a holiday in Czech Republic, and they said, oh, okay, so they put it back up. So this huge growth, there was 5 million sent kisses within just 5 days, 1 million kisses a day, 1 million publishes on user profiles every day. There was nobody in the country that could have missed this on their profiles, on their friends' profiles. This was an activity for Tesco. It was called Run for Life, basically. A CSR activity, non-profit. It was generated, it was for generating basically awareness and users and also money. So basically you were in the center. When you logged in the application, you were in the center. You were the blue, or you were actually gray when you came in. And if you didn't send a donor message, cost, I don't know, $1 or $2, you were still gray. And your friends saw that you're gray, that you didn't send that message. So it's sort of like a social pushing on, get that money to that, cancer research organization, because, they need it. So I think 3 million were collected all over this campaign, 3 million crowns, which is over 150,000 euros, I think, 130,000 euros. So very successful activity. The Facebook application itself had 90,000 users. Another application, this one was for Peugeot, and companies come and ask us, well, you do beautiful applications, they have users, but what does it mean? What does it mean for my brand in terms of sales? So for Peugeot, we said, let's do a converting campaign for test rides. Very simple. So in this case, it was, finish a simple quiz. It was a really, really funny quiz, and it was called What's Your Mental Age? The quiz was finished by 90,000 users. But the important part of it was that, it told you your age, but it actually didn't take in consideration what you pretty much answered. It was just, everybody likes to feel sort of, younger than they are, always. So it's just for women, it said, she was actually 28 on her profile, so she said, oh, you look, 21. Go get a test ride. You need a test ride of this new, young Peugeot car. So people did that, and 1,700 registered for an actual test ride. So that's something that, it converted into actual test rides. The sales numbers will be coming in this quarter. Very, very fresh activity. It's a Puma Creative Factory, launched 5 days ago. I'm putting it up because this is a local activity in Czech Republic. There's 2.8 million users on Facebook in Czech Republic, which means this penetrated 10% of all Facebook in Czech Republic within 5 days, basically. There were probably not many people that could have missed it in their news feeds. Really not many. And it's still growing. This is basically today, and it's still growing heavily. And these applications simply work. I mean, you jumpstart them with Facebook ads, obviously, in the first days, and then it grows organically, grows virally to the users, spreads the message alone. So people design their shoes, basically, in this application, similar to Kia, but more of a style of painting different, like not painting over it, but basically coloring it up in their scheme. And after this campaign, they're actually going to be celebrities wearing your shoes that you designed. So, they're going to take pictures and be in the TV with it. Campaign for Kraft Foods. Really simple snake game. Simple works on Facebook. 1,000 users within a first 2 months of the campaign. Why is it in a Nokia phone? It's Kraft didn't want to put in like high valuable prices, so Kraft made a deal with Nokia. Nokia supplied the phones, and Kraft supplied the brand and production. So Nokia had the co-branding, and they delivered like, I think, 10 phones to the campaign, and it was free for Kraft. Another case study, GE Money on Facebook. We started working with GE Money when they wanted to make a concept for the Olympics. We were like a bank on Facebook. That's complicated, but for the Olympics, it's easier. So we did 3 mini games, simple for the Olympics. Basically, invite your friends. You get a bonus for time. Play the games. 170,000 users came and played the game. Just regional application again. Now we said with GE Money, so we got to build you like a complex Facebook strategy. It's not only about games and fun. It's also about informing. So they won this award called the Golden Crown. So they basically said, well, send Golden Crowns and win. It was a very hard sell campaign. They edited the copy, so it was really, really hard sell. So it basically said, go buy the account, which is not the best way to approach it. It has to be sort of in the medium of sales and marketing. And in this case, 40,000 joined, but as I said, really hard selling activity. I'm going to skip this one. I have a few more. I like this one, zombie infection. You basically virtually infected your friends with a zombie infection. Vodafone did this. Vodafone, the mobile operator, did this. And nice 40,000 users over time. There was no promotion for this whatsoever, no ads running. So basically the message is, not only about creating the Facebook applications. For most of our clients, we already do social CRM, social CMS. So building basically the background, building the connections, and also building the database. Legally, you have to have that checked. You have to have that checked in terms of rules, how you're collecting those databases, how you're storing those emails if you have them, and how you're informing the users that they're sharing them. But right now, clients of ours have hundreds of thousands of emails basically loaded up with also obviously social data that they can communicate with users. And they inform those users with a double opt-in actually, which is the legal thing you have to do in Czech Republic. A double opt-in is complicated. So bottom line, Facebook is out there. Start your Facebook pages if you don't have them. If you do have them, start measuring them and activate your campaigns. It's a great tool for building your community. It's a great tool for brands and media companies. Probably know that already. Start your applications. If you don't have Facebook applications, do start them as a support for your clients. And obviously start monitoring Facebook ASAP. Now somebody asked me on another conference I was a week ago in Hungary, why are you here? Why are you presenting this? You're not from Facebook. So basically I decided to put this quick slide. So why am I here? I have 4 reasons to be here. One, I wanted to present you these case studies, and I wanted to show you what you can do, what you can be doing on the market. Second is all those stats were from our FaceBakers Market Insights. We have a free technology that's obviously online. You can go take a look at it. And we have a premium version where you can compare, where you can do all sorts of stuff. And find local business partners in Turkey, basically, and local media partners. That's it. Thank you very much. Do we have time for questions?
Couple of one,
couple?
2, yeah, because.
Do you have any questions?
You talked about a lot of tools on Facebook applications. Can you talk about a little bit what the developers should not be doing? If you said it has to be very simple.
So basically, if you have a Facebook application, it's fairly simple building it. It's not as simple as maybe a website because you have to have specific knowledge around building it. You have to know how it works. You have to have the special measurements that would take another 2 hours to sort of present. But bottom line is just get your Facebook applications developed by like a local company, or come to us regardless, or talk to Facebook. They'll point you to more people. I'm not selling our services in this case, but it's, you know, the idea of Facebook applications, to have them, that's sort of what works for companies. And some of our clients actually came in and said, you know, we'll drop our website. Our website is like for drinks, you know, we have our drinks up there, you know, microsites. People don't go there very much. But you know, they wanted to leverage and use only their Facebook presence. Obviously, they'd have to see some guarantees from Facebook on not deleting their page and stuff, but I think that's a good step forward too. Other questions?
Videos and photos are more powerful than these kind of applications, am I wrong?
So what you've seen in my original graph, that was a graph on if you posted on a Facebook page. So that you can't relate that to statistics of Facebook applications. Those, you know, that was a statistics considering you publish through an application on a page, not publishing an individual. That basically the holder of the message for you in an application isn't your company. It's the people that are spreading, you know, if they want that activity. Because the Facebook application, it can't be about your brand. If it's only about your brand, it's, you know, why would a person come to a Facebook app? You can then send him to your website. But if you want it to be sort of in the middle, so with HP Butterflies, it was, the butterfly was the name of the mini netbook that they were selling. And the butterflies had names of their other laptops, so it was all connected. So, any other questions? Do we have time? Nope. No more questions? No more time?
No more questions? No, I guess.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.